should have left the time to the people who are debating these votes we're going to have at 11 o'clock. It's my understanding under the rule that Senator Coburn and others will have a half hour to debate AGOA Burma sanctions for a half hour. Is that right? And whatever time is left over it'll be whatever time's left over for the debate on the motion to proceed to, I'm sorry, not the motion to proceed, but the closure vote. Is that right?
That is correct.
Well, Mr. President, my friend's statement, we'll talk about cybersecurity in a minute, but let's just talk about his continual harangue against the President of the United States. Underscore all this, Mr. President, with what my friend, the Republican leader, has said at the beginning of this Congress, that the #1 issue for him in this Congress is defeating President Obama, and that is how the Republicans have acted. To talk about Republican tax plan would have to bring a smile to one's face. Yesterday, an organization called the Tax Policy Center. Now remember, Mr. President, last year Mitt Romney called the Tax Policy Center, quote, an objective third party, and cited one of their studies to bash Rick Perry in the Republican primary. So this objective third party yesterday said this about Romney's tax plan that my friend the Republican leader wants the American people to grab. Well, the only people to be grabbing that are really rich people. The vast majority of Mitt Romney's tax plan would go to people just like him, people making millions of dollars every year. Under Romney's plan, folks making more than $3 million a year would get a tax break of $250,000 per year. So how will he pay for this massive new handout to the top 1%? He'll hand you, 95% of the American people, the bill. Under his plan, that my friend the Republican leader wants, I hope everyone listens to this within the sound of my voice. Because a Republican plan would require the average middle-class family with children to pay $2,000 more in taxes to take care of the millionaires. 95% of families in this country would be asked to pay more so that people like Mitt Romney can get a tax break. Now that's a great program, a wonderful program. Last year, I repeat, Mitt Romney called this Tax Policy Center an objective third party when he was once again changing his position during the Republican debates leading up to his nomination. Now that the group has exposed his plan to hike taxes for 95% of American families while handing out more giveaways to millionaires, the Tax Policy Center is suddenly too liberal, his spokespeople say, to be trusted. But I would suggest, when we're talking about trust, we need to look no further than the person that Mitt Romney wants to, that my friend, the Republican leader, wants to be President of the United States. He's refused to release his tax returns, as we know. If a person coming before this body wanted to be a cabinet officer, he couldn't be if he had he did the same refusal Mitt Romney does about tax returns. So the word's out that he hasn't paid any taxes for 10 years. Let him prove that he has paid taxes, because he hasn't. We already know from one partial tax return that he gave us, he has money hidden in Bermuda, the Cayman Islands, and a Swiss bank account. Not making that up, that's in the partial year that he gave us. Mitt Romney makes more money in a single day than the average middle-class family makes in 2 years or more. So let's not talk about this great plan the Republicans have to create jobs. The #1 goal in this body by the Republicans has been to damage the President of the United States. They've refused to work with us in creating jobs. Let's talk a little bit about cybersecurity. Mr. President, we have people coming over here saying, boy, we almost have a deal.